Every single American, gay, straight, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, every single American deserves to be treated equally in the eyes of the law and in the eyes of our society. It's a pretty simple proposition.
Hey everybody.
I'm mad at her.
She's mad at me, but it's gonna be alright. But yeah, my name is Tamra.
I'm Analouisa.
Alright, and we are a lesbian couple. Been together strong through obstacles, ups and downs, judgments, everything. For a month I mean sorry. For a year and 9 months. Going on 2 years coming November the 11th. So she's pretty much my everything, regardless of how people look at us and their perspective of what we supposed to be. This is my baby. Love is love. But yeah,
Even when she mean
even when I'm mean to her
wow,
all the time. But yeah, this is our It Gets Better project video. And we're making this and we're going to talk about our coming out stories and how we overcame our obstacles and the judgments and families who didn't accept us. So, I'm gonna let her tell her story first because it's longer than mine. And beware if she gets off track. She's okay. She's she's just like that. But go ahead.
told my business. Hello. Um, so I'm just gonna tell y'all. I'm 19. My parents raised me in a Catholic and a Mormon family. My daddy's Mexican, i.e., he's Catholic. My mama's black, but she's Mormon. So basically, in their religions, everything that I've done throughout my life has been wrong. I have tattoos. I had sex before marriage. Um, I'm gay, and they don't like it. I mean, they support me now, semi, but they don't like it. Um, let's see. And I do pageants, so it's very looked down upon in that world also. Because I'm
Why is
always,
that?
they always ask you, how do you think it would be if we had a game in South Carolina? To be honest, I think it would be great. Diversity is the new thing going on in the
I
world
think
right
it
now.
shouldn't matter
Hey,
whether you're gay, transgender, even if you white, black, because sometimes some of these people who win is majority, and I'm sorry, I'm not racist or anything, but they're focused on basically popularity. Who knows who in the system? You know what I'm saying? That's how I think those pageant works. That's why sometimes I'm iffy about her because I know that she deserve a bigger title because she just a wonderful person.
but you know
But
what?
you
I'm
just
just
have
myself,
people, yeah.
and that's what people don't
Pageants,
like,
pageants are based upon
especially down here. It's in the South.
acting. You know, if pageants should be only existing in Hollywood because that's all it is, acting and people who knows people in a bigger, higher rank. But yeah, anyway, we're not talking about pageants, but yeah, that's what I'm. It's not all about gay and lesbians. It's about color as well when it comes to the pageant thing. But that
Um, let's see. When I was in ninth grade, I kind of semi made it known that I was gay. I mean, I had a boyfriend at the time, but it wasn't anything that I could be all like myself with because I wasn't comfortable with that situation, especially with the life thing that happened. I don't want to get into all that, but I just wasn't comfortable because I knew I wasn't being myself. So when I got into 10th grade, I became even more open. And, I started looking for a girl that I could date and potentially spend the rest of my life with. Well, that didn't happen until I got into 12th grade. When I got into 12th grade, that's when I met this lady right here. See, I haven't Y'all, this is kind of creepy, but I have been MySpace stalking her since I was like since I was in like 7th grade or whatever.
7th grade.
Okay, something around there. I don't know. Whenever I was in middle school, I have been like looking at her pictures, and I was like, oh my god, y'all, she is so fine. But at that time, she didn't feel comfortable coming to me because, you know,
Groupies. She look. I mean, look. Well, she's still beautiful right now, but I'm saying when she's actually dressed up and stuff, she just
it's late here, guys. It's like
yeah, it's late.
it's
So
like 12 o'clock
she's
at
supposed to
night.
be asleep because she has school tomorrow. I have to go to work. But hey,
Whatever.
but yeah, she's just so perfect and beautiful, and everything. Well, she's perfect to me regardless, but she's just perfect and beautiful, and she has a good soul. And I just was like, you know, I might as well let them have it because there's a lot of people just wanting her for her looks, and I just looked at her like, okay, yeah, she do look good. I'm not gonna lie, that's the reason why I want to talk. But I could tell that she was sweet because she was a little innocent cheerleader with a bottle cap, homemade necklaces she made, and a little shyness, and you know, I found that attractive. She was just the most beautiful thing. But yeah, I had thought about it. I wanted her out to myself, so I was like, you can't give up on something that you really want. And she was somebody I really wanted. So I wasn't going to let these little groupies that she had and still have try to, ruin what I want, ruin
Okay.
my happiness.
I'll tell y'all a story of how we got together later. But finally, when my mama and daddy found out that we were going out, it had been maybe, I mean, they knew I was in a relationship, especially my mama. My daddy didn't know as much because we don't really talk like that, even though I do love my daddy. We just don't get along as much as him and my brother. Anyways, it's another story for another day. Um, but when they found out my mommy, she was supportive, but she just didn't like it, and she made that very well known. She didn't want me spending time with her, so everything that I had to do to spend time with my girlfriend or try and talk to her, it was very sneaking around, and like I felt bad because I had to sneak around, so because I get in trouble, and I didn't want to get in trouble, so I felt bad. I felt bad that I couldn't be myself around my family, and still kind of can't, even though it's been like 2 years and they should already be used to it. I don't, you know, my brother's the only one, and my cousin that are just like, hey, she gay, hey, they like to hang out with us. But anyways, my daddy, when he found out, he was completely devastated. I mean, he was crying and everything, asking what he did wrong as a father. Apparently, you didn't do anything wrong as a father. I mean, hey, you my daddy. There's nothing you can do about the way that I choose to live my life and who I'm in love with. So I've tried to make that very clear to him, but he just didn't understand. So he insists on turning my phone off for about what, 2 months, somewhere around there. It was so hard. Like that was one of the hardest points of that relationship. Like it broke me. It was horrible.
Broke both of us.
And then there was a time when like I just felt like I just wasn't part of my family. So I started coming to her house, and then like I don't know, somehow miraculously I started spending the night even more and more and more. So I felt like I was part of her family. And then her family finally accepted me. I felt like, hey, I'm part of a family now because I was accepted because her parents already know that she's gay. I mean, it's apparent, but like I felt accepted because I could live the way that I want to around your daughter and let it be known that, hey, I'm in love with her. But, what else? Let's see. When it comes to everybody else outside of my family, I guess they kind of just put up with it because they have no choice, to be frank about it.
So
They
how did
have
it
no
get
choice.
better? You've been
To
you
get
done
it,
talked a good 8 minutes.
it got better when I started hanging out with your family, and I just started being myself more, and we started going out in public more. I let it be known, hey, Facebook and Twitter, and then we finally had to let go of all that stuff. But it eventually did get better. Now with my mommy and daddy, they're still struggling with it, but they just accept it now because that's the way I choose to live my life, and it's who I'm in love with, so they're just gonna put up with it. So I mean, it's not quite there, but we getting there.
All right. She done talked you out of there for a good 9 minutes. My story is gonna be simple, short, quick. So this with my story, started off with me in well, growing up, I kind of knew what kind of who I wanted to be and what, like, I had a grasp, but I just didn't want to. I guess you got a feeling of disappointment with your family, and that's the worst thing you could ever hear from your family. I'm disappointed in you, especially if you're just trying to be yourself. You know, so I was in denial from like, cause I kind of experimented with like one of my best friends who was like real young, like 7. I know it's bad, but it was like I don't know. It really was that. It's like something in my brain was like, this is so right. Like with dudes. I mean, I was when I was younger, I was attracted to dudes. I really was. I had boyfriends. Da da da. Which is funny now, cause But I mean, It's really not funny because I know deep down, regardless of how I dress, I'm still a female, and I knew so. But
that's what I like about her. She doesn't call herself bro or
yeah, and
none of that.
I'm not judging anybody because everybody has their own perception of how you should be lesbian, wise, gay, blah blah blah. But yeah, so I was in denial for some years until I finally got old enough to kind of comprehend on feelings and emotions and thoughts and processing things like deep, like actually deep thinking things. So 7th grade, uh, finally, I was best friends with this girl, and finally, it was just I say it was like pack testing time, and I just couldn't. I don't know. I just couldn't stop staring at her or whatever because at a point in time I was like, oh, I've been online like tagged and Bebo messing with girls and everything, just typing, but I never had interaction with a female while I was older. So it was kind of a thrill, like, oh, I'm finally, this is a girl. She's in front of me. I was like, okay. So me and her got to talking. So we end up dating. Like one of my best friends, we end up dating. We still not best friends. We still friends to this day. Like I play basketball and everything. I'm not going out into that relationship, but that's 8th grade, 7th grade is when I first start fully dating females. And my parents, I thought that I don't know why. I guess because everybody else seemed like they were just so in tune with their sexuality, like heterosexual. Everybody was just so I just kind of fell in the shell. So I never bothered to tell nobody. The only person who really knew was my sister, who I think of as my best friend, Alicia Drummond. I just want to give her a shout out right quick. She's in the Air Force. She's in Chicago right now. I love you. But yeah, besides that point, yeah, I was scared to tell him, so I never did tell him. Me and her dated, over after school, after school let out during the summer, then 8th grade, and I think we kind of hit our breaking point at the end of 9th grade. But my mom found out first because it was Valentine's Day, and my girlfriend made me this special little card, and I had it in my book bag, and she ended up looking in my book bag. 'Cause my mother is very nosy, like any mother. She decided to go through my book bag because it was open, and she read the card. So we got home. She asked me about it, and I was like, first I was in denial. I was like, no, I'm not gay. And she finally she just sat me outside and talked to me. It was like, which I love my mom to death for doing this. I don't want to be rebirthed into no other family or nothing. I hope if I ever get reincarnated, and if I have to be gay, I hope I have accepting parents like I do now. Cause it's just amazing to have parents like this. She just was like, I don't care if you're a girl liking a boy, girl liking a girl, boy liking a boy, boy liking a girl. She's like, only thing that matters to me as a parent is that you are happy with who you are and who you're with. That's the only thing she asked of me, and I was like, why did it take me this long to realize this? But it was a blessing. It was a blessing because I know probably a good 96, 95% of lesbians or gays or bis, their parents didn't accept them at first. But my mom, from day one, she found out. Ever since then, smooth sailing, smooth sailing. It was a little awkward still at first because it was like, I don't know, they're saying it just so they won't hurt my feelings. Like, because even though they're your parents, you still have parents or family that talks behind your back. And I didn't know if they were doing it. So it took me a little time to grasp and hold it. My mother actually accepted me for who I was. My daddy, he found out because I was having a dream, and I ended up saying my girlfriend's name. and telling her I love her in my dreams. So, and he never told me he knew until like after my basketball game, and we was all sitting talking, reminiscing, and he was like, "I love you no matter what." I mean, and he one of those men who think they teenagers. So he real cool and crazy. He was like, "As long as you bring some fine chicks to the house, I'm fine." So, but yeah, I was blessed enough and fortunate enough to have parents who understood, and I kind of feel like God put me with her for a reason. I wouldn't want her. I'd rather her be with me more than anybody, not just because for my happiness, but for her happiness. I feel like if she was with somebody who had parents that didn't understand, you know, their sexuality and didn't like the way they were, she would have a rough life because she already had one from day one, like with her family, period. So she'll have to deal with two families that don't like who she is or who her girlfriend is. That's why I think God put us together for a reason. That's why I'm trying to hold on to this until the day I take my last breath because I feel like I'm here for a purpose, and that's for her. And I feel like she's here for a purpose for me because she's changed me a lot, not for the worse, but for the better through everything. We might have our first fights and all this, but
Lord.
we got through that. It gets better. It got better. All I can say to encourage kids who haven't came out of the closet, so to say,
Be
the
confident in
way
who you
the
are.
way that the world works these days, everyone is like that. Now you have people who's like who I don't. I'm not gonna say I don't accept because if that's who they really are, that's who they are. But I feel like some people are being gay or being lesbian. Well, most females, because dudes don't do that. But females, I feel like they're doing it just so they can fit in.
Like it's
It's
a trend
like yeah,
or
like it's a
something.
trend. Like you wearing like people wear polo. Everybody else want to wear polo. Oh, you're a lesbian. I'm a lesbian too. And I kind of blame rap music for that because they making it okay for girls to kiss girls. I'm not saying it's not okay, but they making it music influence young kids. And I feel like if you're gonna be heterosexual, you should be that. Don't do that. Point blank period. Be who you are. Be who you are made to be. Do not change who you are to make anybody else happy in life. Family, friends, who you're dating. I don't care if you're dating somebody and you start feeling feelings for another female. If that's how you feel, that's who you are. You can't change that. A lot of people say repent, do this, do that.
I'm
Really,
sorry, you can't change who you are.
you
If
can
you
repent. You can tell God, God, I'm sorry that I'm like this. But it's kind of like saying you're sorry for being real. That's just how I see it. I done had nights where I prayed to God and asked Him, I know it's not in your favor from what I'm hearing that a female should, I know in the Bible because I read it myself that a female should not be dressed in men's clothes and a man should not be dressed in women's clothes. I read that. I saw it. But like I prayed and told him, I'm sorry if I'm disappointing you. But you say, come as you are. This is who I am. Hopefully, when it's my time to go, you'll still welcome me with open arms. You know, they say your soul is refreshed and stuff when after you die. So maybe when I pass away, he can just refresh my soul. I'm still gonna be the same T-Bell because I'm T-Bell, but I'm just
she's just
saying.
T-Bell.
But life is great. Like that. I mean, I really can't. I wouldn't rewind no part of my life. I'm pretty sure, regardless of how much she loves her father and her mother, and want them just to be like, okay, you know. To be honest, she right now since they done sort of kind of got into the drift of things, and know that she's with me, and we're actually on good terms lately. Like we've been so great that I kind of feel like they are kind of lightening up. Now you got parents out there who kick their kids out the house, who curse them, who did so much to them. She's fortunate enough to just have parents. Like I even heard, well, I think I talked to her mother once, either talking to her, or I heard her say, I don't know, but I heard her say, I don't, I'm not saying that I'm thrilled with what you're doing, but I'm not gonna I don't think she hates her. That's all I feel. As long as your parents don't hate you for who you are, You can't tell them they have to like it because everyone don't like everything. But everyone out there,
it gets better, guys.
it gets better.
Take some time. Be yourself. Be happy with who you
It's
are.
it's a work in progress. From
Gotta
day
be
one,
confident also.
is when you're a lesbian, especially in the community we in now, and you still have people that's against us. You're gonna have people literally throw dirt on you sometimes, or throw dirt on your name, or curse you, or saying you're going to hell. Just tell them God bless you. Cause I mean you can't call yourself a Christian and say you hate somebody. You know, I don't find that very Christian like. If God says come as you are, why are you judging me? Why I can't feel like I can walk in church without being judged with wearing slacks and maybe a button up and a nice little tie? Why can't I just walk in as who I am without people looking, oh, that's a girl. Oh, lesbians. Oh, you know, I hate that. I think they're just so disgusting. They humans, you can't call yourself a human being. Me talking about it now just kind of get me stirred up, but like I said, it gets better in time.
So
I
yes.
feel like this website is a start to everything, and every other website that's helping the LGBTQ community. You know, I feel like websites like these, it's a good start. You know, you got to start somewhere, regardless of how big or small. You got to start somewhere to make progress. So, me and my girlfriend support y'all 100%. And soon I'll be trying to donate so we can get our shirts, and hopefully we can make videos with our shirts on to show how much we are dedicated to helping, because we are part of this community. So why wouldn't we? Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
sorry guys, I'm kind of
she's a little
under the
stuffed.
weather.
But well, this was our video, our project. Never give up. Never change who you are just because people tell you who you should be. People don't know who you are better than yourself.
No one knows you better than you.
It all gets better. See you later. Bye bye.
Bye bye.